Hello everyone, and welcome back to another part of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Feeling a bit better today, thankfully. And I'm going to try to finish up Mitsuru's quest here, and then I guess we'll start on Market if we have enough time, depending. But I don't want to be on this for too long since I have something to do later. So, yeah. Late November. Oh god. I did it again. I keep forgetting that you have to press a certain button for it to actually work. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. I also recently thought about whenever I start streaming, I want to do all of these, like, whenever I do that, and I guess just upload the VODs or whatever. I don't know. I'll figure it out later, but that won't be for a little bit, since I know streaming can be pretty hard. Especially if you're, like, recording at the same time. But anyways. After parting with Hanamura, I once again proceeded through the school. The invisible walls continued to bar my path. Undoubtedly, the enemy is leading me exactly where he wants me.
Is there no end to this?
The rules of P1 Grand Prix are powerfully enforced. I tried to see if I could destroy one of those walls, but it doesn't seem as though I can. Maybe if I used all my strength. But even if I do, I'll be locked into a fight if I happen to run into anyone. Either way, it didn't seem worth the trouble. I strayed from the suggested route on purpose and opened one of the classroom doors. I sense no enemies. And it doesn't look likely that I'll run into my next opponent here either. It should be safe. Once again, I link my communicator with my persona. This time, unlike before, my senses clearly and smoothly spread outward. I sense two familiar signals.
Akihiko and Aigis. They both seem to be okay.
First, I focus my senses to contact Aigis, who's closer by.
Can you hear me, Aigis?
Mitsuru-san, I am relieved to finally hear from you. Is Akihiko-san with you?
No, we were separated, but I've confirmed his safety. I'm sure he won't be defeated that easily.
Aigis laughs upon hearing my words.
Let's exchange information while we can.
I give her a simple outline of the current situation. I mention the students that were drawn here. My suspicions that this Grand Prix's mastermind is almost certainly related to Labris. And what I've heard of the girl who I'm assuming to be Labris.
I saw that girl a moment ago, though I lost sight of her when the invisible walls blocked my path.
I've been told she looks more human than you. Is that possible?
Not only that, she was almost indistinguishable from a normal person. I couldn't believe it either, yet I definitely sensed a personality module. I don't believe there's any mistake that she is Labris.
I see.
There's no doubt that General Teddy has strong ties to Labris and the Kirijo group. But this girl who I believed to be Labris is apparently walking around unconstrained. If he can set up this many walls, it should be easier for him to capture her too.
Don't worry about meeting up for now. Under the present conditions, we'd only end up fighting amongst ourselves.
Understood.
I don't know how Labris ties into this situation yet, but be careful. Hello? I lost her.
Aigis' voice trails off as my connection to her dies out again. I wonder if the enemy noticed our conversation and took preventative measures. Though the voice I'm hearing now definitely isn't General Teddy's.
Ain't there some other way? If there was, then...
That's the same voice from before. Labris, is that you?
It's happening again. The voice reaches me through my persona ability, but I have this strangest sensation about it. I get the impression that the voice I see is out of place of this place itself. Blah.
Why are you laughing? What about this is funny?
Who is she addressing?
I don't want to fight him anymore!
That reminds me. Hanamura said that the environments here are formed by the thoughts of those who enter this world. Could these be Labrys's innermost thoughts? Is that why everything about this place radiates her feelings?
What do you think we are?
For a moment, I experienced not just the voice, but a powerful wave of emotions. They bombard me through my persona's senses. A strong sadness, confusion, despair. I can't help but fall to my knees, though nothing is assaulting me directly. How can I describe this weight? One possible explanation crosses my mind.
She's not addressing anyone. These are her memories. I see. So that's what's going on.
I think back to what General Teddy said, that making people suffer is fun. I dismissed it as barbaric desire not worth talking about too deeply. Thinking about, blah. But in truth, what kind of horrors would someone have to go through to emerge with such a stunted perspective? Blah.
I'm finally beginning to see the relationship between this tournament and Labrys.
In any case, I must proceed on to learn anything. I redoubled my resolve and began walking again. The monitor suddenly turns on, showing a smirking General Teddy.
What are you getting so sentimental for? The Grand Prix's not over yet!
Then you intend to continue this meaningless farce.
I'll decide what's meaningless or not! Bring out the next challenger!
As soon as the general shouts, smoke gushes out, obstructing my view. It seems he isn't willing to listen to a reason at all, not that I expected otherwise. Who will I be forced to fight this time? I strain my eyes to see through the smoke. It looks like it's...
You?
I remember that face. Naoto Shirogane. He was present as a police observer when Labrys was being transported to Yakushima. It was thanks to his quick thinking that we discovered Labrys had been taken to Inaba. If our trip hadn't been disturbed by the hijacking, he probably would have been with us in Yakushima. But why is he here?
This is a problem. I didn't think we'd run into each other so soon.
Is this another illusion? No. I can see that it isn't.
Why are you here? I'll answer that question later. It would be best to say as little as possible for now.
With that, the young man lifts a finger to his lips in a gesture to remain silent. Directly afterwards, that statically sensation runs through my body. It's then that I understand what he meant. Once again, that noise will prevent us from understanding each other properly. He's probably also noticed the effect at work. Nothing we say right now could be called conversation. If we both understand that, neither of us need to take what the other has to say personally. Jeez, I'm sorry. That's why he called for a temporary silence. It's an amazing assessment, given the brief time in which we had to make it. Before long, as expected, the young man before me undergoes a complete attitude reversal.
Seriously, such impatience handling the grunt work yourself like this. Isn't micromanaging like this the style of an incompetent leader? One who can't see the bigger picture?
This isn't how he truly feels. I say nothing.
The silent treatment, huh? That's fine. I understand perfectly. You don't believe in people. Not a single one. You have friends and allies, but believing in them is a different thing. I suspect you'll never break down that wall. Shall I say it for you? You're actually scared to. The notion of growing attached to something and losing it scares you so much that you'll share nothing truly important to you. Even if you want to believe in your friends, you can't. That's not true.
After the words slip from my mouth, I realize that the argument is futile.
Of course it is. Why not simply admit it? In truth, you have your hands full just expiating your family's sins. You don't need the added burden of others placing their lives in your hands. Isn't that how you really feel?
No!
The young man smirks as if ridiculing my inability to stop myself from responding to his allegations, despite knowing the futility of doing so. Futility. But the smirk only helps me to regain my composure. The real Shirogane would never make that face. This is only an illusion.
There's no use continuing this. Not until I eliminate this irritating mirage.
This is going to be the easiest fight of my life.
Finally! Fight!
It ends here! I won't hold back! I'm coming for you! I'm coming for you! Want to stay?
Okay.
Aw, I wanted to show that off. Oh wow.
Want to stay? You're finished! I was hit! Not yet. Go down! I'll show you my results! Want to stay?
Come on. Oh, she always pants sick.
For you.
You're no fun.
Have time to gawk?
A round of applause for both sides.
I turn towards the monitor, on the assumption that General Teddy will appear to mock us. But for some reason, this time he doesn't. I'm not sure why, but it at least allows us to calmly talk things over. I look towards the young man once again.
Am I getting through to you now?
Yes. The same goes for me, I presume. It seems we were spellbound until the fight began, as we both suspected. They disrupted our communications to drive a wedge between us and make us fight, though it's a mystery to me as to where it draws such personal slights for the illusions before us.
I agree.
He seems to bear no animosity, and is willing to discuss things. But to be honest, I'm not sure where we stand. Why is he here? I can think of several possible explanations, but if he secretly followed us, and his canniness may prove dangerous. He gives a sudden wry smile, as if sensing my reluctance and trying to assuage it.
There's no need to be cagey. I don't intend to dodge whatever questions you have. You were probably wondering 3 things when you saw me here. First, how did I enter this world? Second, what am I doing in Inaba? And third, if I came here looking for you, what are my true intentions?
No wonder you've made a name for yourself as a detective. You're correct on all counts.
The first answer is easy. You know now that I can use a persona, allowing me access to the TV world. As for the second, there's no great mystery why I would come to Inaba. I live here.
You wouldn't happen to be acquainted with Amagi and Hanamura?
You've met my senpai?
Your friends. I gather that you're comrades who fought alongside each other during the serial murder case last year. I assume you entered the TV together for the same reason they did, and found yourself dragged into this mess as well.
Whatever doubts I may have had about them, it seems they're here because we dragged them into this. I'm not very comfortable with that.
If so, I must apologize to you. No doubt you already know, but the object we seek has been brought to this world. It's most likely the cause of this disturbance. Whoever learned of this world's existence must have thought it would be useful in whatever they're scheming.
You apologizing to me?
Shirogane shrugs with a wry smile.
Are you so sure you can trust me? You have no guarantee that I'm telling the truth. And there's still the answer to your third question to consider. I haven't yet told you my true motives.
Fair enough. But if you're friends with Amagi and Hanamura, I feel I can trust you. Their bonds with their friends are real. Perhaps I lied about that too. But then why would you bring it up? No, you're no villain. That's what my intuition tells me.
You aren't at all the person I thought you'd be.
I'll take that as a compliment.
His smile suggests that it was meant as one. It makes him look his age, or even younger. I can't help but smile as well. He's not exactly the hardened detective I'd imagine him to be either.
The Teddy who appeared on that monitor is not our friend. He's an imposter.
You have proof of this?
I found the real Teddy. Our enemy can fog both our eyes and ears. It's possible they can make themselves look like someone else.
I see.
But I still don't know why they chose to take on Teddy's appearance.
Upon hearing this, I sigh and close my eyes.
It might be to make you all suffer. If they led you to believe your friend betrayed you, it would make this all the more painful.
There's some truth to that, but it seems too simple a motive to warrant this elaborate of a disturbance.
He's wrong. If the motive is somehow connected to Labrys's memories, what had been incomprehensible becomes completely understandable. My conclusion must have been shown through my face, since Shirogane trails off in understanding. At that moment came something like a touch. It's a sensation I hadn't felt since entering this world, but I know this feeling. It's the effect of being brushed by a persona's informational support powers.
This feeling. Rise-san! Rise-san, can you hear me?
Naoto-kun? So you ended up here too?
The voice that echoes is so much like the voice I heard over the PA system, but it seems quite different. The announcements must have been part of the culprit's tricks. This Rise's voice immediately turns quavery.
I'm so glad. Ever since this weird fake Teddy kidnapped me, I've been all alone. The others are fighting each other too.
Quavery. Sounds like a candy.
It's all right. Just calm down and tell me where you are.
I think it's the announcement room. It's kind of off though. There are these invisible walls around and I can't get out. The fake Teddy was watching me until a moment ago, so I couldn't use my persona.
She seems to have been under General Teddy's close watch, limiting her chances to use her persona until now. As soon as the general stepped out for a moment, she seized the opportunity to contact Shirogane.
You're in the announcement room now, yes? I'm headed straight there, so stay put.
Huh? Who's that? Why can I hear your voice but not sense you?
She sounds extremely confused. I had temporarily forgotten that my equipment prevents me from being detected by persona abilities, to an extent. I prepared it after facing an enemy with similar powers once before. It works by making my presence difficult to detect, unless they know me well and recognize my signature. Shirogane senses her confusion as well, and introduces me to her. His introduction is accurate, yet concise. I can see his first-rate detective.
Mitsuru Kirijo. Wait, Kirijo? Are you that Kirijo?
Yes, that's correct.
The CEO?
Not quite. I am the founding family's...
You hired me for a commercial before. Oh, crud. Thank you very much for your patronage.
A commercial?
Oh, yes. I'm Rise Kuchikawa. I'm a classmate of the others you met, but I'm also kind of a starlet, and, it's hard to explain.
Rise-san, that can wait. There's no knowing when our adversary will return.
Oh, all right.
Kujikawa said that she was captured, but why would they treat her differently?
I suspect it was to block communication. If we could speak freely as we just did, their whole scheme would collapse. Ah, so that's why Teddy and Rise-san were the hosts.
What do you mean?
The real Teddy has a similar power. That's why those two were taken separately. Not only that, but by acting as the two who had disappeared, the enemy thought it could portray them as traitors. Though it appears that Teddy managed to escape on his own somehow.
How come I'm the only one fake Teddy is watching over personally? Sheesh.
You have the most powerful investigative persona. They must have had to take greater pains with you.
I think we're keeping this going too long. We've exchanged what we know already, so I'm gonna shut down the comms link. Be careful, you guys.
I faced Shirogane once again.
We are responsible for this case. Rescuing the ones who've been dragged into it is part of our mission. Besides, she's another of your friends, isn't she? All the more reason for me to go save her.
He makes a small gesture, as if searching for the right words. After taking some time to make up his mind, he looks at me in the eye once more.
You're quite prepared for this. It would be unfair of me not to tell you everything. Please hear me out. The reason I came here was to...
You're a real straight arrow.
I cut him off intentionally.
You're very proud to be a detective, no? I can see it in your eyes. You would never sell out your beloved justice. If you've done nothing to be ashamed of, that makes us even. I haven't been entirely forthright with you either.
Kirijo-san. It seems I still have much to learn.
Despite what I said, I can make an educated guess as to his motives. He's a persona user. That means the police selected their observer as someone with the potential. If his only task was to watch over the transfer, there'd be no need to send a persona user, leading me to believe that he's been asked to secretly spy on me or my organization. We have nothing to hide anymore. There are many things that shouldn't be made public, but I'm sure his judgment is sound.
Well then, I will once again entrust my friend's safety and the resolution of this case to you, in honor of the bond we are forming, Mitsuru Kirijo.
I promise that I will not let you down.
I smile back at him, and I move on without looking back. I know that there is someone up ahead to whom I owe recompense. Ugh. There is no hesitation in my steps. I reach the 3rd floor. After turning a corner and going on for a while, it finally comes into view. The announcement room. This is where Kuchikawa is supposed to be.
Are you Kirijo-san? Kirijo?
As I open the door, 2 students greet me. One of them is a voice I've heard through my persona, Kuchikawa, I presume. The other is a girl I didn't see on the video.
Hang tight, Miss President. We'll be okay now that help's arrived. Kirijo-san, this girl got dragged into this mess too. We have to help her before that general comes back.
So you're Kuchikawa. Sorry, but I'll need you to step back.
Huh?
I turn to face Miss President.
We meet at last. Astounding. You really do look human. But you're not, are you, Labrys?
The girl jumps at hearing this. Kuchikawa still looks unsure, but I can't drag her into this. I place myself between her and Labrys.
Huh? What do you mean she's not human? Isn't she a victim who got dropped inside the TV?
Labrys as being a victim is one way to see it. But if what I've learned thus far is accurate, then the one who set up this Grand Prix is most likely.
Labrys, our records show that you were loaded with special equipment, undoubtedly a function that affects thoughts and scrambles recognition. That's why we saw and heard illusions whenever we fought. It would also explain General Teddy's appearance, and those who met you believing you to be human.
Special equipment? Labrys? What are you talking about?
Labrys' protest of ignorance sounds as if she is in denial about something she already knows. It's tragic hearing the desperation in her voice.
I'm sure the reason why you captured 2 people with analytical personas wasn't just to keep them from interfering with your designs. I came to a realization when I noticed I was the only one who sensed that noise. An analytical persona's searches clash with your ability. They dispel illusions, so you needed to confine them. You feared that if they caught you off guard and used their persona's ability, this would happen.
With that, I summon my persona, Artemisia. Just as I expected, noise immediately runs across Labrys' body. It's exactly the sensation I felt before each round in the tournament. Artemisia cancels out the force scrambling our senses, and the illusion begins to wear off. Little by little, the facade fades away, and her true appearance emerges.
No! What's going on? This can't be.
What was your motive, Labrys? Was it revenge in the end?
I
can understand why you'd hold a grudge. I caught glimpses of it on my way here. But your hatred should be centered on the Kirijo group. Why drag innocent students into your vendetta?
Kirijo group? No. I don't want to remember. Never again. Miss President, Kirijo-san, she seems to be in a lot of pain. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but you can't push her any further.
At that moment, Labrys grabs the equipment on her back that I had mistaken for wings. It suddenly separates and transforms into a giant battle axe that's larger than she is.
Miss President?
Get back! Hurry!
Labrys approaches on the step, one step at a time, her axe at the ready. Her steps seem uncertain, but she's moving with battle clearly in mind.
The injunction against harming humans has been removed? I see. No wonder she was sealed away.
Behind me, I hear Kujikawa pleading.
Is there no other choice but to fight?
I won't let you do any more damage, Labrys. It's me you want.
Shut up! Shut up! I didn't like that!
Oh, no. I don't want to overwrite that. I mean, I probably will at some point, but not yet.
Final. Fight!
One mistake! Better luck next time! Tentaku! Fall into a Go!
Aw, I wanted to implement combo you.
The time is now! You will pay! You're slow! I won't hold back! What?
Oh well. Labrys remains still. I can hear her mutter denials. She didn't use her persona, but it's possible that her mental instability prevented her from doing so. It might have been a blessing in disguise.
I don't intend to turn a blind eye to the sins committed against you. That is why I must bring you back.
Labrys is the mastermind. Not only of this tournament, but maybe this entire incident. What if Labrys wasn't stolen, but instead escaped? Considering her powers, it is possible that she deluded the ordinary human hijackers. There's no knowing when Labrys regained her consciousness inside her cage. What if she hadn't awakened on opening it? What if she was already conscious inside there? She had been sealed off for roughly 13 years. More than enough time to formulate a plan.
If that was indeed the case, it'd make more sense for this to be a plan devised by Labrys, rather than an unknown party suddenly stealing her away. I can't imagine how much resentment such a small, artificial body could hold. A tragic mastermind, huh?
Huh? Mastermind? You got it wrong, Kirijo-san! That girl's not...
Kujikawa calls out from behind me. But just as she does, I feel an imminent threat rushing towards my back.
What?
I turn around in surprise. It can't be.
Looks like you've saved me some time while I was out running errands.
You're...
General Teddy gives an evil smirk. An extremely powerful version of the noise, far worse than before, is everywhere around us. Fujikawa squats down while covering both of her ears. It's all just to keep from falling to my own knees. All I can do.
What's going on?
This is Labrys's interference pattern.
That's right. As thanks for cornering the real one, I'll show you something.
The noise lifts once the mimicry is dispelled. But what it reveals is something I hadn't expected.
Another Labrys? Why are there two of her?
I am a shadow. The true self.
It's Miss President's shadow.
I'm taking the real one with me. I'll never let you catch me!
Labrys's double gives me a glare of pure malice before carrying off the original and fleeing the scene. I almost chase after her without thinking, but I stop myself and reconsider. That second Labrys. Who was that? This completely unexpected situation has caught me off guard. I can't decide how to proceed.
What is she? You seem to know.
First, tell me something. Why was she in so much pain? What's all this about Labrys and weapons?
I'm sorry, but that's classified. It's not for civilian ears.
Then I won't tell you anything about her. If you want to know what I know, you have to tell me what you know first.
That may have sounded too much like I don't care if she's in pain. It would be unreasonable to demand that she tells me everything she knows without offering something in return. She's already seen Labrys's true form, so I give a small sigh.
Well, I suppose you're involved now. All right, her official name is 5th Generation Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon, codenamed Labrys. She is an android weapon created by the Kirijo group years ago. In order to use persona abilities, she was given a heart.
She's a machine? Fujikawa's shock expression conveys her thoughts as perfectly as she had spoken aloud.
We couldn't let her run free. Just look at the trouble she's caused. We came to retrieve her and minimize any damages.
I hold back no details in telling her the cruel experiment she must have underwent during her development. Fujikawa takes it all in and quietly sighs.
So when she said she didn't want to remember, that's what that was about. Hey, why didn't you listen to what she was trying to say? She said that she didn't want to remember, but you kept pushing your demands on her and making her feel bad.
That's...
I pause, considering her accusation. She may be right. Indeed, I was so desperate to put an end to this case that I didn't listen to what Labrys had to say.
You gave her a heart because you needed her to have one, and then kept treating her like that. No wonder she's in pain.
Tears stream from the girl's eyes. As angry as she is, she's crying for Labrys. Even after seeing her true mechanical form and learning that she's a weapon, Fujikawa has nothing but compassion for Labrys.
Why are you siding with Labrys so much?
I heard her voice a few times. It sounded like it was from her past. She said she was forced to fight when she didn't want to, that she was hurt and afraid.
I see. Fujikawa had also heard the voice just as I did when she used her persona. Fujikawa slowly tells me about what happened last year, the reason why she came to Inaba. Due to her career as an idol, she was cut off from those who knew her for who she was, leaving her isolated. But just as she had lost faith in everything, she met people who believed in her, saving her life.
Someone to believe in, huh?
Hearing that brought up again is a sore point for me.
She's Miss President's shadow.
Fujikawa tells me the details that she previously said she wouldn't reveal.
Fujikawa.
The repressed desires you don't want to admit? Here, they take on a life of their own.
So that's why. Then what's her ultimate goal? Why did she take Labrys?
Shadows. They try to become real. It confronts the original with weaknesses to make them deny that the shadow's part of them. Also, it can take their place.
I see. Then there's no time to lose.
Do you think you can save her? A shadow doesn't disappear until the original person accepts it.
That's why I must believe in her. and support her. Even if it's left unsaid, I still understand Kujikawa's desire. I share it.
Kujikawa, let me amend my earlier statement. I didn't come here just to minimize the damage. I came to save everyone. Will you trust me on that?
She looks into my eyes, and after wiping her face with a handkerchief, she nods slightly.
Make sure you listen to what Labrys wants to say this time, okay?
I fully intend to.
Kujikawa smiles in embarrassment. She apologizes to me for taking such a spiteful tone. I can tell she's being honest and sincere. Kujikawa promises to cooperate as much as possible for Labrys' sake. I decide to have her contact her friends and pass on a simple explanation of the situation. She agrees and adds that she'll try to contact Akihiko and Aigis as well. She seems to have already grasped how our safeguard against detection and my personas work.
Speaking with you made me understand something important. Thank you for that. It must be that smile of yours that catches your audience's heartstrings.
Promise me then. Make sure you come back with her.
Spurred on her words, I begin running to where I detect Labrys ought to be. Though I don't yet have a plan to save her. If I find her again and listen this time, will that truly be enough to save Labrys? The invisible wall is still here, leading me to the music room. According to the guide map, it should have been further away, but it's just the announcement room. The layout of this version of the school is off.
Who are you?
Someone else is already inside. He frowns upon seeing me. I recognize his face from the video. If the walls are still here, does that mean the Grand Prix rules are still being enforced? As a test, I hold out my hand to the space where I just entered the room.
It seems we're locked in. The rule against proceeding without fighting is still in effect.
Are you Kirijo-san by any chance? Rise got in touch with me.
I am indeed Mitsuru Kirijo. As I recall, you were the no, your name was Narukami. There doesn't seem to be anything scrambling our senses. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't sense any noise, but it can't hurt to ask. He nods, showing that he understands the question.
Rise told me you were out to save Miss President. Labrys, her name was?
That's right. But I must act swiftly. There's no noise here because our enemy thinks we'll be hesitant to fight in our right minds. Would you mind conceding? I don't want to drag you into this any further.
I understand, but I can't do it like that.
Narukami gives a wry smile before his expression flattens again.
If the rules are still in effect, my friends are still trapped. They still need someone to rescue them. I fought battles I didn't want and taken on a lot of responsibilities, which includes saving Labrys, of course. It's not that I don't believe you, but I don't think it's right to simply hand the burden over to someone I just met.
I see.
Sorry, this must be frustrating to you.
No, don't misunderstand me. I have no objections. I admire your willingness. With the final battle awaiting ahead, perhaps it's best that the stronger of us two should be the one to proceed.
The atmosphere in the area changes. Narukami senses it as well and readies his weapon. It's strange, but he reminds me of someone. Although his fighting stance, physique, and features are completely different. He still reminds me of the one who saved us, and the entire world.
I like the look in your eyes. I will test your resolve with my sword.
That's pretty sweet. I'm glad that everyone can tell, like, anyone who has, like, I guess the moniker of the fool, or I guess just anyways, not too important, but they all like have some sort of similarity and they all like see it. It's pretty interesting. Huh? You want to block it? I can give you something else that you can't block.
show you, man. Easy night. Sorry, guys.
And get stunned.
I've won. I will move on.
I hold out my hand to Narukami, who had collapsed on the floor, and help him up. Fortunately, I won the match. Although in fighting these people, I have come to see them in a new
But
light.
first, I have something to ask you.
In this world, to encounter another leads into immediate win or lose situation. That's why I had intended to limit my interactions with others. All I felt regarding those students was regret for dragging them into this mess. But in order to be sure I can save Labras, I feel that I'll need their help. Since they're more experienced with this world, they're most likely closer to settling this.
You said that you want to save Labras too, but you barely know her. She isn't human and has been through things that aren't easy to understand. What were you going to do for her when you found her?
Narukami quietly closes his eyes before answering.
Nothing in particular, but I could have stood at her side at the very least.
At her side.
A number of things drawn me to Narukami's words. Though I had resolved to fight by myself, I wasn't truly alone. I had family and close allies all supported me. But Labras was alone. She fought against the same units who shared her fate, and after escaping into this world, she had no one. I see. I understand now. He politely underlined something important I had overlooked. He's not the first to show me the new perspective like this. This warm sensation that spreads within me. I understand now. That's why Narukami reminded me of him.
You really do remind me of an old friend.
I do?
Yes. Though he's more than just a friend. I owe my life to him.
I attempt to contact Kujikawa again. When she responds, I give her another request. She eagerly agrees, and Narukami, who's listening in, nods satisfaction.
Well then, I'll be going now. To save Labras.
There is no hesitation now. I have seen what must be done. I must go forth and keep my promise with them. Labras will be saved. I'm certain of that now. In order to pursue an escaped shadow, I stop briefly and attempt to locate it with my persona. It's on the move, but it's headed to the...
Kujikawa, can you hear me? The shadow is headed to the announcement room again.
I've already picked up on her and got out. Also, I've managed to reach your friends. I was just talking to someone named Aegis.
Kujikawa says she's never tried to connect multiple people at once. But with a little practice, she's picked up to the knack. Her persona support skills are advanced indeed. In contrast to my own inability to contact my friends against this noise without linking my persona to the communicator, she easily located Akihiko and Aegis. Really, she's quite talented.
Aegis, can you hear me? I need you to keep Kujikawa safe.
Understood.
The shadow's presence is nearby. I retrace my steps to the announcement room and throw open the door. I'm ready to end this.
My, you've come. Sorry, but you're too late. You really helped me out, though. You were pretty hard on this girl, weren't you?
The expression drains from Labras' face as she mutters to herself with self-reproach. The shadows must be hammering Labras' psyche in order to have Labras deny herself.
Look me. We've got a guest. This human's here to take us back. She'll never understand how we feel. A typical human.
Stop! Don't say any more!
Labras.
I step between Labras and her shadow and draw my weapon. The shadow looks at me. Her face boils over with hatred.
What's this all about? Oh, of course. It would be a problem if she were destroyed while you were retrieving her, huh?
Retrieve? No. This has got nothing to do with me.
How long are you gonna lie to yourself? It's about time you face reality. You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through, right? That's why we're in a school having a fighting tournament. You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand.
That ain't true.
But it didn't work. Kirijo marched in here and spoiled your fun. It's all right, though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Just like you once did.
No! No! That ain't what I want! You're...
Shadow's smirk widens at Labrys's protests.
You're not me!
Labrys's rejection seems to have crossed some line. I can sense the Shadow's power rising dramatically in response to her words.
That's right! I'm myself! I'm free! Even if I'm a misunderstood machine, I'll escape from all this! Yes! The power!
Alright. I'm gonna beat your ass again.
Gone berserk. But there should still be time. I'll make you settle down.
I support Labrys, who's slumped over, and make my intentious plan.
What's with you, you hypocrite? The way you've been acting pisses me off! How can you be so kind to her? No matter what you do, it won't erase your sins! Fine. Since you're a Kirijo, why not tell you exactly what your family did to me? What they made me do?
I mean, I'm still not for the whole idea that, you know, the child should pay for the sins of the father or the mother. Because at the end of the day, unless they recreate that same actions themselves, they're not guilty of anything. I mean, they never asked to be born in that family. They never asked to be subjected to anything like that. I don't know. I just think it's unreasonable. The shadow thrusts her weapon towards me, as if sentencing me to a judgment.
Remember those spectating students? What did you think those human-shaped silhouettes were?
For a moment, her unexpected shift in topics catches me off guard.
Those were shadows, too. Shadows of the prototypes you made her destroy. When they were destroyed, their information was transferred to the victor. What's left of their hearts remains deep inside Labrys. That's right. They all have a soul. But because they never fully developed, their shadows helped her play school after they separated from her. Do you see? Those spectators you saw everywhere were her sisters she had to kill at the Kirijo group's orders.
I'm at a loss for words. I can only stand there speechless.
I haven't forgotten. I'll never let their memories or their pain go. I won't forgive anyone who tries to take my freedom.
Her anger. It's justified. It's natural for her to hold a grudge after what we did to them.
I acknowledge your anger and grief. Setting things right here is my way of atoning. This fight will release you from your curse once and for all.
It sucks that she has to pay so much for her father and her grandfather's actions. Like, honestly. Ugh.
Finally! Fight!
Ow.
You have time to go.
You're gonna have to try a bit harder than that. After a fierce battle, the shadow finally falls silent and stops resisting entirely. I go to elevate Labras to help bring her around. When she regains consciousness, she looks at me with sorrow and resignation.
Am I gonna be alone again? What am I saying? Of course I am. After all I've done.
No. No one will lock you away ever again.
Huh?
I thought I had a firm grasp on things, but in the end, all I did was drive you into a corner. I'm sorry.
Why is a Kirijo apologizing to a machine? I mean, I hurt people. Dragged him into my own mess. I'm just like I was before. There ain't no reason to forgive me.
That is solely your opinion.
Huh?
Kujikawa, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Is that Rise-san?
That's right. You've met her too, and
Seems Kujikawa accomplished what I asked of her earlier. I wanted her to use her persona ability to connect with the voices with the friends directly to Labras. Some of them I've met, while some of them I don't know at all. In truth, some of them may find it hard to forgive Labras for dragging them into this, even after learning of their circumstances. But I believe in them.
Tell the truth, I only saw you for a second, so I ain't really sure what's going on. But it seemed like you went through a lot. Anyway, hope things start looking up.
That's way too simple. Can't you think of anything better to say?
Hey, it ain't simple at all. I know damn well how tough it is to see a shadow come out of yourself.
Yeah, we've all been through the same thing, so we'd suck pretty bad if we didn't forgive you.
You caused me a lot of trouble, but it was still kind of fun. Kinda.
They know how to accept someone for who they are, regardless of looks. That's why even though Labras is a machine, they will surely welcome her. I'm confident of it. And indeed, they respond to Labras with more warmth than I had thought.
What you saw wasn't the whole picture, right? That's just how our hearts are.
I concur. None of us can cast stones after you've gone through the hardship of facing your shadow.
That aside, I'm just glad you're okay. I was worried about you. I left you alone knowing you couldn't use a persona.
Labras, when you come back, we should talk.
Senpai's right. And not just us. Sister? Can you hear me? I too would like to talk with you. There's something I'd like to tell you. You may know it already, but still.
The voices chiming in are gentle, kind, and warm. I can't help but be touched as well. My words alone could not have accomplished this.
You guys. Why?
You are a machine, unlike us. That is undeniably true. There will be days to come when you are tormented by solitude and caged by your own weakness. But one thing will be very different. Starting today, you are not alone.
Whether she's a machine or a human has no bearing on her suffering. To be crushed under the weight of despair, with seemingly no end to the pain, feeling that one cannot go on any longer. I'm no stranger to those feelings myself. There was always someone else, like my family or teammates, who saved me. But when you're alone, it's difficult to see a way out. You can't find it unless someone else shows you. That's when you learn extraordinary power derived from one's relationships.
Companionship is the greatest guide. In my mission here, I've come to be reminded of that. We hope to become that guide for you as well. If you're not alone, you can stand to face the most painful of truths.
Face the truth.
Labras's gaze turns towards her own shadow. There is no more fear in her eyes. She understands now.
I see. I get it now.
I watch over her as she stands up. No words pass between us, but I'm here for her, and that may be enough. Alright, this video has been going on for a while, so once this ends, I'm gonna stop it and then record Elizabeth's thing later.
Lapras and Kirijo-san!
Welcome back, you guys.
Together with Lapras, we head towards the rooftop, where there is supposedly an exit to the real world. A small crowd welcomes us on our arrival. Some of them I haven't yet met in person. If I recall correctly, the energetic girl with the short hair is Chie Satonaka. The well-built young man must be Kanji Tatsumi. And that must be the real Teddy. His speech is no different from the imposter, but in the absence of the evil demeanor, the real one is much more adorable. All the faces I saw in the video are here with a smile on everyone.
Whoa! You really are a robot! Hey, can I touch you?
That's a really weird thing to ask.
Chie-san, that's a bit impolite. It's hard enough restraining myself already.
You said restrain yourself.
Well,
I give Lapras an encouraging smile. She needn't be afraid to enter their circle. None of them are rejecting her, after all.
I'm sorry I caused you guys trouble.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. That Grand Prix was you, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't a half bad idea. Fighting to see who's the strongest man was awesome!
What?
Kanji. He's so dumb and I love him.
Kanji's right, but you should have invited me too.
Sorry?
I won't forgive you until you say, I really like you, you big bear of a man. All sexy like that.
Guys, stop making it even worse. Sorry we're starting off like this.
In any case, I'm really glad you're all right.
I got you to thank for that.
They take very naturally to someone who isn't human.
Great job, Mitsuru. But man, talk about a rowdy bunch of students.
Still, they are kind.
I look at Lapras surrounded by new friends. I wish I could join them, but part of me would rather watch over them now. And there are things I still need to consider.
Is something the matter?
I'm not good at relying on others. My responsibilities are so heavy that I don't even think of trusting others with them. I've been told it before, but it never gets easy.
Why not think of things more simply? When something cannot be accomplished alone, there is no other choice but to trust in others to help. Good or bad, it is inevitable. Then why not accept it and move forward? You aren't alone either, after all.
I can't keep myself from smiling at the truism I've never heard I never would have come up with.
You're right. It's not difficult at all when put that way. It's just as I was saying about companionship being a guide.
Indeed, I'm thankful for my companions. They said the things I cannot, and take me outside myself with new perspectives. I'm sure that the same principle will save Lapras from straying from her path. Although, I think again about the case. Now that Lapras is safe, there's another issue. The mastermind was not Lapras, but her shadow. However, her shadow emerged and began to act only after she entered the TV world. It's hard to reconcile that with Lapras taking the initiative to escape. Come to think of it, there's something else that can't be explained if we assume Lapras was behind everything.
Was Lapras truly the mastermind here?
What are you getting at?
Why did Labrys choose them? Where did Labrys learn of them?
It's the students of Yasugami High that trouble me. I can't see why Labrys would have selected them. I thought they might have sensed the changes Labrys caused in this world of their own, but no. The video that brought them here called them by name. Not to mention that the shadow took the appearance of General Teddy from the start. Neither would be possible unless she hadn't identified them beforehand.
Even we didn't know about them or about this world inside the TV. How did Labrys discover all this?
Yeah, I can't explain it either.
And I still have my doubts regarding the hijackers' mental state. Their memories were so muddled that they couldn't even explain themselves. Do Labrys' abilities extend that far? The more I think about it, the more questions arise. There must be some larger plan at work after all.
Well, the fastest way to find out is to just ask her. Hey, Labrys!
Akihiko.
Akihiko's loud voice catches not only Labrys' attention, but the high schoolers as well. I had hoped to keep them away from this, since they were innocent bystanders. Akihiko seems to not notice my irritated glare.
When did you wake up? How did you find out about the TV world?
About this place?
Labrys abruptly stops moving, just before starting to convulse and taking a leap backwards. It's happened so suddenly that even the students standing some distance away raise their voices in alarm.
Labrys!
Get back!
As soon as Akihiko cries out, Agus runs towards the students to protect them. I keep a careful eye on Labrys, whose face has gone blank and put some distance between us. My fears have been realized. Labrys reaches for an axe on her back and swings it without hesitation.
Is she malfunctioning? No! Someone's hijacked her!
What?
If we're all here, the shadow is defeated, and someone is still hijacking her, then
I know you're there. Who are you? Show yourself.
I expected a response. But the source of my answer came as a shock.
Show myself? How cold. You treat me as if I were a stranger.
That voice!
What? Okay, she used Agus, right, before? And even, appeared in a shadow form in her story. And now she's appearing as Mitsuru. A pool of darkness emerges from one of the nearby shadows, forming...
No way. Kirijo-san's shadow?
What the fuck? Now I'm really confused. It has my appearance, my face. It's me in every way, save for the unnatural gleam in its golden eyes and the mocking expression it makes.
Do you not recognize your own face? I am you.
Still, my heart is calm. In fact, her appearance may be giving me more clues as to the enemy's intentions.
You seem to have a penchant for deception. Unfortunately, I already know that you're the mastermind here. You were after Persona users from the start. That's why you chose this school and tampered with Labrys' memories. And you just demonstrated how you controlled those hijackers. Very good. No wonder you managed to drive back a god once. Yes, I want them even more now. You want them? Explain yourself. Personas and shadows are one and the same. If I poison your hearts, I can recruit shadows with unparalleled strength.
Wait, what? You mean turn our personas back to shadows?
The heart is frail. Its weaknesses are never fully vanquished. Given the opportunity, it can betray you and return to darkness. This one's desire to make people suffer was perfectly suited for such a plan.
Plan?
You caused all this to gather strong shadows?
Who are you?
Sadly, it seems things won't be going according to plan this time. But I'll make use of what tools I have to the very end. This is my last chance. No, more like a marvelous entertainment. Stand, my puppet.
The shadow ignores my taunts and raises its right hand towards Labrys, still collapsed on the ground. Lapras reacted to the gesture by rising up, like a puppet with no will of its own.
You bastard! This form is exhausted from constant battle and will be useless as an asset. But unless you destroy it, it will keep rising up and attacking you all. What will you do?
Lapras obeys the Shadow's command and leaps forward to attack. It seems the enemy will do anything to rattle us. I understood that, but understanding it and forgiving are two different things.
I'll just knock her out one more time.
No, don't attack her. Further damage to Lapras could put her in danger.
But, come on! She's all over us!
Now, may you suffer and curse your fate. Relinquish your personas.
At that moment, I hear a voice whisper in my mind.
Huh?
I stop in spite of myself and know this voice well. Relief watches over me as I hear it. This match will end in our victory. I call to everyone assembled.
Don't listen. Everyone concentrate on avoiding her attacks.
But we can't do that forever.
Just try and hang in there. Trust me. I trust in you.
I realize that this is an impossible demand. Everyone is already exhausted by what's come before. Still, I need to buy time. Surprisingly, the first to nod is either Akihiko nor Aigus.
Everyone, we can take this much. Yosuke, you ready?
Hell yeah, partner. Let's let Mitsuru-san do her thing.
Hanamura and the others recover from their confusion at once, and Narukami speaks. Interesting. He seems to be a great leader.
Akihiko, Aigus, back them up.
You got it.
No one will force my sister to hurt others ever again.
You had best hurry and decide. Who will be destroyed? The shell or the lot of you?
The Shadow laughs triumphantly at seeing us driven against a wall. Flaunting one's power, acting like a god. How short-sighted. I sense what we've been waiting for. We bought enough time.
Sad to say, but this show is over. What?
Lapras comes to a halt and is released from the Shadow's control. She must have been forced to exceed her limits, for she falls to the floor as if her strings have been cut. We didn't attack her at all, yet she's unable to do so much as break her fall. A chill goes down my spine, imagining what could have happened if we'd fought her at full strength.
Looks like you made it in the nick of time. You saved us, Yamagishi.
Are you all okay?
Fuka-san.
So you had a third assistant.
That voice. It's not coming from in here. Whoever it is out there.
Seriously? She can use hers in reality too?
Right before we entered the TV, I put in a phone call asking her to come right away, and she made it at the perfect moment. Yamagishi initially had a bit of difficulty dealing with the world, so alien to her, but she adjusted quickly enough. Though she's far away, I can sense that we're under her protection.
It's just as you thought, Mitsuru-senpai. The enemy is only mimicking your appearance. It's a fake.
Hold on, I'm getting a call, and I don't know why. Alright, I am back.
Very impressive to guess correctly from such a long distance away. So these are the limits of a half-broken puppet. Well, no matter. This was only ever for my own enjoyment. You despicable monster! I didn't expect you to fight back this hard. But didn't you have fun? You were all taken in by an illusion. This place, these traps, everything came from your own minds. You dread yourselves most of all. A beautiful plan, wasn't it? Your idea of beauty is rather warped, as is your plan and your assessment of us. But your biggest mistake was that you took my form in the end.
I take a step forward. Seeing this, Akihiko and Aigus take a step back. They know me well. They can see the signs of anger boiling within me.
Are you angry? All right, I'll play along. The show must go on, right? Don't say another word while wearing that face. I'll teach you just who it is you've made an enemy of!
Okay, she's angry. That's scary.
Final. Fight!
It ends here! You're finished! I'm coming for your mistake! Better luck next time! Time is now! I won't hold back! Fall before my grave! I'm coming for you!
Easy sauce.
Check. This is fine with me. Good enough for my purposes that I confirmed you have enough power to meet my expectations.
The shadow laughs as if it's defeated. Didn't matter to it at all.
This is only a temporary form. I doubted there'd be any meaning in changing my appearance. But sure enough, it made for a very enjoyable game. All that irritates me is having to feign cooperation with that foolish human until I obtain the one true vessel.
Having to feign cooperation with that foolish human. Who would she be referring to anyway? Okay. So she's talking as if she's not human. Or he, they, I don't know. Okay, so we definitely know that they're not human, for sure. And they're working with someone human to do all of this. But it has to be someone who actually knows how to do some of this, or knows the investigation team at the very least, that they have personas, their names, and everything. So I'm just gonna say a guess and say Adachi. I don't know if that's reasonable or not, but I mean, I guess it would stand to reason. Who knows? Foolish human.
I'll see you and another guy's next time. Just wait until then. The real you will face the same consequences soon. Choose your last words carefully.
Its laugh echoes throughout the room as the shadow borrowing my form disappears into thin air.
Yamagishi!
The reading disappeared. It didn't move, it just vanished. What could this mean?
Back to square one again.
Another guys, huh?
Don't even think about coming around here again!
What are we up against? Our enemy seems to be targeting persona users.
It seems that not even they know who the enemy is, though I didn't expect that they would. The enemy had extensive knowledge of Lapras, something even I didn't have. There's no denying it. Whoever did this was well versed in the Kirijo group's internal workings, gathering powerful shadows. Now we know the enemy's general aim, but what do they plan to do with them? None of that matters at the moment, I suppose. I signal to Akihiko. Akihiko catches it and turns towards the students.
Don't worry about it. We'll handle things from here.
Wait, but it kinda said it was still after us.
Of course, you should be aware that the enemy is out there. Akihiko only means that there is no need to abandon your lives to pursue it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pause this here. Mute my mic because I've got to do something really fast. It's important. It's just like something that came up suddenly. But I'm gonna be right back. Just a second. Sorry. Ugh. Sorry for that.
We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you. That is, after all, our duty.
But
I don't expect them to like my answer. But the reason I started the Shadow Operatives is to protect people from these things. The students, they're still young. Granting my permission would only mean them becoming more inexorably involved. We should be the ones to take responsibility.
Guys, let's leave this to them.
You can...
are you serious?
They're right that we need to go back for now. We're all at our limit.
When Narukami signals to him, Hanamura's complaints fall suspiciously silent. That hardly fooled anyone. Either they take me for an imbecile, or think it would be better even if I do catch on. I suppose I can live with it. If they are that determined, I can hardly dissuade them. We'll have to take care of everything before they can involve themselves. That's all. Teddy jumps around, his footsteps sounding highly unnatural to catch our attention.
Alrighty, attention please! The trip doesn't end until we get out of the TV!
Dude, we were in the middle of a conversation.
What are you doing with this ancient TV? Hang on, where'd you even get this?
It's a Teddy Vision! You can get out from here!
They exchange banter, as if the recent problems are already long past. We must fight so that they can continue to be so carefree. Moreover,
How's Labris?
There wasn't much damage to her motor functions. I don't believe it will take much time to repair her. Still, the stress on her cognitive functions must have been severe. It may take some time for her to awaken.
Icus gazes sadly at Labris, unmoving form in her arms. We must also fight to prevent anyone else from being hurt like these two. The case is over for the time being. It's time to say our farewells to this world. But a newfound resolve to fight is surging within me. Even after we return to the real world, there is no rest for the weary. After action reports on the case, investigating leads on the culprit. There's a mountain of things to do.
Here you go, Mitsuru-san.
Ah, thank you.
After issuing instructions, I'm ready to take a break, when Iga serves me a cup of tea with perfect timing. The fresh scent of deerling. I take a moment to savor the mellow aroma of muscant. That's right, spring is nearly over. I feel I can barely keep track of these seasons anymore.
We will be leaving Inaba tomorrow. Keep that in mind when making preparations.
Understood.
We're rather limited here in this hotel room. Originally, I had intended to return today, but we're all so tired that we had to stay here the night. There is also Labrys's condition to consider. Still mulling it all over, I hear a knock on the door.
It's me, Fuka.
Come in. I'm sorry I had to summon you on such short notice.
Oh no, it's all right. I was on vacation too, after all.
How is Labrys?
She's still resting. There was a lot of stress on her, so we might have to carry her out.
I see.
Yamagishi takes a nearby chair. There's wariness in her eyes.
I looked into the records. Labrys was built on a self-contradicting foundation.
Self-contradicting?
Unlike with Aegis, when Labrys was being developed, no one had the know-how to create a personality from scratch. So, it seems like they took an actual girl's personality and used it as a base.
So you're saying this whole time, Labrys was built off of a person? And that very same person just so happened to be... Oh my fucking god. I can't believe it. I mean, I guess it makes sense since they like called her mother and everything, and you know, it wouldn't make a lot of sense if she just like created them herself. I mean, she's like a kid. I mean, that would be some pretty complicated stuff.
A living girl. So that's why her heart is unexpectedly advanced.
Yamagishi nods.
But if she had all of the original girl's memories, a contradiction would occur in her self-awareness. Normally they'd make adjustments to prevent that, but even then, they couldn't guarantee it would be completely safe. That's why Labrys was loaded with a self-deceiving function, in case a conflict arose in her self-awareness.
She was deceiving herself? Then the function that interfered with our perception...
It was listed as meant for infiltration, but that was a technicality. Its true purpose was a safety mechanism.
She was given a heart, proposing that it would cause conflicts her self-awareness. I silently begged the heavens for forgiveness as the cruelty and injustice performed upon her.
I think that should be okay now.
A hesitant voice comes from outside.
Labrys! When did you get here?
Sorry to sneak up on you, but after I faced my shadow and learned how to use my persona, it's hard to explain. But it felt like my emotions settled down.
Actually, that may be what happened. Facing one's shadow could be said to be correcting one's self-awareness.
That must be it. Your developers came to the decision that it was an insurmountable problem, yet you overcame it.
I approach Labrys and stroke her head. She fidgets her eyes, cast slightly downward.
How do you feel? Does anything seem off?
Oh, no! You guys have treated me so well, I feel kinda guilty about it. My body's all fixed up too, so there shouldn't be any problems there.
I see.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm using this as the thumbnail. I have to. Let's see. I can't... that's okay. I'll probably just leave it in or something. But I really want that to be the thumbnail. I think it's really cool. Labrys' expression seems gentle. She appears to be mentally stable. I doubt there's any danger of her losing control
I
again.
wanted to talk to you about where we go from here.
From here? You mean about me?
Originally, we planned to take you back to the lab on Yakushima, but that was when we still thought of you as a mere object. Is that what you want to happen?
What else is there? You could tell us what you yourself want. You do have a heart, just like us. Who knows? Maybe you could even go to school eventually. Me? Go to school?
Even Igus has been to school, and that was when she knew much less about the world than you know now.
Thinking back to that time is, it's rather embarrassing.
Surprisingly, Labrys fell silent in thought. To live a life no different than anyone else. That must be exactly what she wants. Should I tell her there's no need to worry about living expenses? No. Best wait for her decision. She should be the one to decide on her future. After a long silence, Labrys speaks again.
School. It sounds great. But I feel like there's something I gotta do first. I mean, yeah, it's been my dream for a long time to go to school, but someone's after those guys. Someone's trying to wreck their lives. I want to catch whoever it is myself. I want to look after those guys.
Rather than being with them, she chose to protect them. It's a beautifully selfish decision. Selfless. She thought for herself and chose her own path. I see no reason to deny her that.
The Security Department Shadow Response Unit would be glad to have you. Welcome to the team, Labrys.
I extend a hand. If she takes it, she'll be putting ordinary life on hold for a while. I know she understands that, but she takes it anyway.
I get to work with you, sister. But I guess that reminds me. I am your younger sister, but I am more experienced than you. This may be somewhat confusing.
Though the two sisters are a bit awkward around each other now, a new bond will form there as well. Labrys made up her own choice not to live an ordinary life. You could say that she is truly facing herself. She'll be alright. Seeing the two of them together makes me sure of
I'll
it.
give you a tour of the lab tomorrow. Make sure you're ready to write things down.
Tomorrow? We're leaving Inaba already? I haven't even said goodbye. I can't leave without seeing him one more time. Oh, that's good to hear. It means you've made some friends. Friends.
I turn to Igus.
Igus, get in contact with them by whatever means you deem necessary.
Understood. How should I contact them? I only know their names.
Yamagishi, your usual method should prove effective once again.
Huh? But isn't that invading their privacy?
Permission granted. Remember, we have official sanction to operate now.
And after how they acted when we were parting, we'll definitely need their contact information. They won't sit quietly by that, I'm sure. This matter's still open after all. The mystery remains unsolved, and there are still worries nagging at me. But that's not the only legacy of this case.
I'll help look him up too.
Labrys breaks into a smile and takes Igus aside at the computer. The bonds that give her that smile, they will light our unseen path. There's no knowing yet what the case might lead, where. But the day that we stop in our tracks, too afraid to continue, will never come. Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting it to end there. But, I mean, I guess it works. So, yeah, everyone. I would like to say thank you all so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment down below. And until next time, everyone. Goodbye for now. Oh, did I say have a good day? Because you should have a great day. And I hope you do. Anyways, goodbye everyone.